What's up, YouTube and
Dadshoos.
internet fam? Dadshoos.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta work on a theme song.
Da 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 da
We gotta find
da.
some. Da
Dad
da da
shoes.
da. Right. It's a work in progress, folks.
Yep.
So, hey, how's it going? This is our very first episode of Dad Shoes. I am Jeff,
I'm B.
also known as
Banneker.
our. I call him B a lot. That's his nickname. So as well as like a few other things, but B or Banneker,
Oh,
B
okay. A
for
few other
Banneker.
things.
Well, you're
It's just the
14,
life of
so
a dad, you know?
pretty much, pretty much. So I'm really excited. Like this entire podcast show is me talking about all the cool things that my son and I watch. Whether it's movies or TV shows, as well as being a sneakerhead. Thus, the title of the show, Dad Shoes. Right. So like the whole concept of being a dad and wearing, clunky, unpopular shoes or whatever. But that's not the case anymore. Now dad shoes are in, and I am proud to be a part of the dad shoe gang. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Was that cringy?
No, it wasn't. It was fine. You know,
Okay.
dad shoes aren't just like weird white orthopedic shoes anymore. Sh- they're colorful shoes that cramp your feet and are really fun to wear. So yeah,
Exactly. Are
beauty
you just
hurts, you
saying
know.
it's beauty does hurt,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't hurt? Anyway, we're digressing. So
Hmm.
before we keep going, make sure to click that subscribe button. This is our first episode, and we are already shooting for the stars. First stop is 1,000 subs. So make sure you like and subscribe. Tell all your sneakerhead, tell all your geek friends about this show. We're gonna have like a lot of things to talk and chat about. Also, pretty soon, and B, you don't know this, but pretty much like right after we finish taping this, I'm gonna order our t-shirts that we designed. Got a cool logo and a few other things that I plan on working on. But do you want a hoodie or do you want a t-shirt?
A t-shirt.
T-shirt, okay. Well, that's going to be the first round, so you're going to get a hoodie too. So
Yeah, it's fine.
whatever. Yeah,
Hey
yeah.
guys, back to 1,000 like subscribers. Everyone in like the first 1,000 subscribers, you guys can call yourselves like OGs of this like channel. Like you get like a special badge in your heart. Um,
Oh, yes, exactly. A
in your
special
heart.
badge in your heart.
Nothing physical, but we'll know who the real ones are.
Awesome, awesome. Now, the great thing about this being the first episode is that, we're stepping out into the frontier of this new show, and I'm still trying to figure out what the format is, right? So, other than just my son and I talking about, certain things, that we're watching on TV and either critiquing, saying what we like about it, saying what we wish would be different or what have you. I also want to bring on like other guests, like other sneakerheads that are on YouTube, as well as other pop culture, YouTubers as well to, just chew the, just talk about what's relevant, in this day and age as far as like pop culture goes. So one of the things that I want to ask you be is like, who would you want to see on the show? Who would you like to interview with me from time to time?
Yeah, so like there's really only like one celebrity to say that like I like would kind of care about meeting because everyone else you kind of like you know what's up, but I want to interview the creator of my favorite show, Adventure Time, Pendleton Ward.
Pendleton
Yeah,
Ward. Now, this show, I tell you, this show I've watched
in the
a number
background.
of episodes, and I do appreciate its creativity, and I know I've sat down with you to watch Adventure
Yeah,
Time as
they
well,
they got
and
the new.
yeah,
Keep going.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they got the new Fiona and Cake show coming out currently, and that's really cool. They're like pushing the boundaries maybe they wanted to push in the original Adventure Time show, where it's uh, I'm pretty sure it did TV-14, so it's like there's is like a little bit of blood and like mild mild saying. They don't even say a lot of curse, not any curse words, but it's just a little more.
Oh wow, so they're trying to grow up the with
Well,
their,
yeah, most
you
of
know.
the fans are like people that grew up watching it. I was like I started watching it when like the last few seasons were like airing. And I was
Hmm.
it's crazy that I'm able to like keep watching it cuz I started watching when I was like not little but kind of little.
Like what, I don't know, what, 10, 11,
Uh
12,
like 8 probably.
8? Oh wow, it's been around that long.
It started when I was when in 2009.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, definitely, yeah, when
Yeah.
you were born. Yeah, you're just getting in. You were just getting into it when you turned 8. Man, I tell you, like I can't gauge time anymore. Really, it was like literally like one day I was holding you in my arm like a football and doing errands, taking care of stuff. Next thing you know, your voice is dropped, and you're
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Okay, now I'm getting cringy, right?
Mm.
That's the going gag that's happening every time because I'm a cool dad. I like to think that I'm cool, but every now and again, I like to keep him on his toes and start getting what we call cringy.
Keyword
So,
think. No.
ha ha.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Little jab there. Little jab
yeah,
cross.
yeah, a little dab, a little bob and weave. Don't worry about
Yeah.
that. But again, everybody, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Still on the road to 1,000. So the cool thing is that once we get the ball rolling and everything going, we can do a whole lot more. Like I don't know, getting a set. That's what I like to see. Like getting
Mm.
a real deal set where we can sit down, have microphones, and just sit and chat about the latest episode or what have you. So Pendleton Ward, right?
Yeah. Wait. Elaborating on your pushing people to subscribe. We got it. Like, maybe if we hit 1,000 subscribers, Pendleton Ward will notice us and be like, "Yo, this kid, yeah, okay."
Yep.
Anyways, I'll stop. Yeah, I'll just
No,
stop.
no, no. I really dig it. Like you really want Pendleton Ward on your show. So
I'm saying I'll stop and not I'll stop pushing people to subscribe because it's like in YouTube is really, hey guys, like and subscribe, and don't forget to like and subscribe so we can like and subscribe.
exactly. I
It's a
think
little
you did enough.
disingenuine if I
Yeah,
use
you
that word
think?
correctly. Yeah.
Is that a little? Is that almost like begging?
The max is to say it at like the start and end, and maybe to
Right.
promote something in the middle.
Right. Well, you know what? You are the real deal YouTuber, so you're actually teaching me. So, and which brings us to the hey, who the hell are we? Like what are we doing here? Like what's happening? So, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Banneker more. I do a lot of like creative stuff in my times. I'm working on a comic book that I'm trying to maybe put digitally and then also like print stuff out. And it's around my neighbor's dog named Taco, where he's a cyber bounty hunter that goes on a journey that I'm developing. So I do writing and drawing and stuff like that. Then I do a lot of Lego mock building. Mock stands for my own creation, where you just build whatever. And I have a YouTube channel where I build a lot of those and try to follow like just getting better throughout my editing. Like I started this when I was 11. Yeah, like 11,
Yeah,
and it's crazy to see where I started, just like how weirdly edited, but then like growing it. So just doing that and mostly focusing on just growing the channel. So yeah.
gotcha. Now, the reason why he's not saying the name of the channel is because why?
because all of the stalkers have to do their own research. No, um, just because I want to continue being anonymous on my YouTube channel for a little bit more. Yeah,
Right. And as a dad, I'm sitting up here wanting to yell from the rooftops, about my son's crazy ability to create nothing out of little pieces of plastic and create these big things. So hopefully I can talk him in to doing a face reveal. But you've seen his stuff. If you're into Legos, you've seen his stuff, online, and I'm pretty sure, we'll start dropping hints and then do a big reveal.
sure,
But
yeah.
yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, it's just a dad in me because I'm like ridiculously proud of you and what you've done and your
I
accomplishments.
know, I
But
know.
aw,
Thank you.
but you're welcome. But also with the comic book, I think we should. How close are you to getting the cover done of Taco in Predator mode? Like I know you sent me like.
Yeah, so I am kind of trying to figure out how I want the text to look because I tried just having like interesting like font on it. That does look cool, but it, like kind of looks like mixed up with like the real like kind of scratchy like detailed drawing. So I think I'm gonna actually like draw the font and figure it out like probably this week.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So is it okay if I put the initial picture like on our IG page?
Yeah.
Cool. I will do that, and you will see one of the first renditions of Taco in Predator
Excuse
mode
me. Yeah.
on IG, on the Instagrams. And we also have TikTok. I'm trying to get to TikTok. I'm trying to start using TikTok. I checked out of social media back in 2016, but it's going to pull me back in.
How
And
about this?
yeah,
What if the people voted if we should do TikTok or not? What?
look. Gary V says use TikTok. Shout out to Gary V.
Okay, but Garrett, do you have anyone else that says we should use TikTok? Because I know you supposedly watch a lot of Gary V, and
I
I'm
do.
like, well, I've heard bigger YouTubers like Zach King, who does like magic trick or like video magic tricks, Michelle Carre, who does accepted. Shout out to like those people. Those are like some of
Mhm.
the bigger YouTubers. Like I saw like a roundtable. Ultimate shout out to Colin and Samir because they have helped me a lot, like developing my YouTube channel, like doing stuff like that.
How so?
Uh, so they've interviewed people like the biggest of the biggest, Mr. Beast, and they just share a lot of like tips from the YouTube community. And I'm pretty sure their motto is like by creators for creators. So
Hmm.
it's kind of just like them holding like a community around creating YouTube videos and all the different styles, like even like slow paced, just taking your time and like watching someone like hike or something to like, hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm gonna be doing this and then I'm gonna do that. And remember, I'm gonna do this. So like kind of like the rushing you Mr. Beast, which is like fine and it's entertaining and you know, there's a reason why he has almost 200 million subscribers.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because I actually appreciated the fact of how I was introduced to Mr. Beast because we were sitting down watching and I was scrolling
Oh
through
yeah,
Spot.
Joe Rogan. That's
Yeah, yeah. Mr. Beast was on Joe Rogan and you
mm-hmm.
kind of freaked out. I was like, what? Mr. Beast is on Joe Rogan. And so I like Joe Rogan. You like Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we're watching it. And, just hearing his story and seeing what he's was doing, when he got started on YouTube to what he's doing now, which is massive. And he's from North Carolina. So, and that's my home state. So, shout out to Mr. Beast, hopefully I'll be able to run into him, Be like, yo,
Mhm.
put me on your show or something. But
Let me
actually
be in a video.
be in a video, give me money.
Well, yeah. He
Yeah.
literally
Well,
has in like the description of one of his things, don't ask for money because I give it
oh
away
yeah.
all the time.
Well, no, and I wouldn't do it too. Really, I wouldn't.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not that kind of person. But I am really, really, really impressed with what he's done for his community, and yeah, and just being a giver. So I've made it a point to watch Mr. Beast as well as Mr. Beast Philanthropy. As well, and yeah, just awesome, awesome stuff. But yeah, so Colin and Samir, Mr. Beast is someone with whom I'd like to interview. But then also, I like to interview. There's this guy that I follow on Instagram. His name is Hellspawn Cosplay, right? I think his real name is Demetrius Holt. I'm not sure where he's from, but he's a cosplayer, right? He does a lot of crazy costumes. Like he did this really intricate of Hawkman, back when Black Adam was coming out, and we're not gonna
Back
start.
way back,
Start.
yeah,
We're
when back.
way back, and that was like what 2 years ago? No, a year ago, a year and a half. Maybe how long has it?
It came
Look,
out like
DC.
last. Yeah, it's been probably about a year.
Yeah, probably about a year. And I tell you, man, look, I know we've talked extensively about DC. It's sad.
It
I'm
we
still
should have a
upset.
whole podcast dedicated to DC versus Marvel because DC kind of started out not that well, but wasn't doing that well. Marvel really great. Everything up to Avengers Endgame, in my opinion, was fine. It was good. Some of it was great, and then Avengers Endgame, and then it was they're trying some new stuff, like with Disney Plus, like the shows. The couple first shows I would say were pretty okay, and then everything like after everything every movie
It just,
after it wasn't the best. But
yeah,
there are
it,
some
yeah.
exceptions.
There are some exceptions, and that is probably going to be another whole
Yeah, I'm
episode.
not I'm not gonna keep going.
Because well, for those of you who don't know us, we've talked extensively about DC and Marvel and what we'd like to see, and so and that's actually the reason for the show. Because I'm like, man, we sit down and
Yeah.
have like really deep discussions, and it's more than just this is cool, this isn't cool, this is cool, this isn't cool. Like
No,
we
it's
actually
yeah.
get into weeds and like start nitpicking and stuff like that. So yeah, what were you about to say?
No, yeah, I was just gonna like agree like the inner workings of Hollywood and how everything affects everything and yeah, those are gonna be some good podcasts to come up. So subscribe so you can watch them.
There you go. Cool. So Hellspawn cosplay. He's done uh Hawkman, he's done he Spawn. That's how he actually got started. Spawn, he's also done cosplay as Cyclops and just a whole bevy of others. And I really dig how he speaks to his followers. He's also a dad as well, and I want to say his son is probably under 7 or something like that, and so he'll have him at a cosplay, at a convention, all suited up,
In a little
as
baby
whatever.
cosplay.
Yeah, little baby cosplay. So yeah, so someone like him, as well as you know what, I'd actually like to interview Gary V. That's me.
Okay.
And so
Sure.
you get to talk to him in regards to why do you think TikTok is the next big thing?
Well,
Because no, go
he's,
ahead.
from me watching his videos, I assume he's gonna be like, "Well, blah blah blah," cursing at me. You know, this is why you should go on TikTok.
Now, do you really think he's going to sit there and curse at you? He curses, definitely.
To get his point across, which is TikTok. I don't TikTok. You do TikTok to promote your channel. I mean, he has like. I understand why you really like him. Like he talks very persuasively. Like you aren't gonna have a functioning channel if you don't. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing small jabs at Gary Vee because it's fine. I don't have anything against this guy. I just don't want to. I don't like TikTok, and I don't want to do TikTok.
Understandable. And you know what? Actually, that's okay. Like, and this is one of the great things that I really dig about my son is that we totally have a way, like when we disagree with each other, it's not like, oh, you need to think the way I think. Like, I really want to know why he doesn't, like something that I like, and what is it really, so that, I can gain some perspective. Right. And that's one of the things that I think, I enjoy with our talks is the fact that, especially when we don't like if we disagree on
It's a
something.
back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a back and forth. Now, sometimes I just throw the gauntlet and be like, no, you're going to like it.
I,
But that's few and rare in between. You're going to sit down and you're going to watch Star Trek.
he hasn't gotten me to do that yet.
You did. You did. I
Okay,
got you to watch Wrath of Khan.
when I was like really small, and I was like, oh, okay. You also got me to watch what was that show? Not Shazam.
No, you wanted to watch Shazam.
Not Shazam. It was a '80s movie. What was it called?
Masters of the Universe?
No, it was kind of like that. The Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
I only remember a few things from that. I remember like that guy battling him on like the rotating, I don't know,
Oh,
circular
Prince
base.
Baron. Yeah. Prince Baron. I mean, it's just good, cheesy action movie. That movie came out. You know what? I want to say 82 or something like that. I'm sure people, yeah. Make sure to comment. I think I want to say 82, lower 80s. It was before 85. I know that, but I think it was 82. But yeah, I was like 12, almost 13 when that movie came out, as well as being a kid of the 80s myself. All the movies that I've, showed you, were the movies that made me the person with whom, I am. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And you know what? We've been going back and forth, but I didn't introduce myself and explain like who I am. All right, so I am B. Banneker's dad. I am Jeff Moore. I am a filmmaker as well as a podcaster. I hosted a podcast called LJ Presents, and you've also heard my voice in a lot of other narrative podcasts, such as Ars Paradoxica, as well as a few other shows as well. So yeah, just Google me or check out my IMDb page. Also, I was in the podcast The White Vault, which I really, really enjoyed doing as well. So, shout out to those guys and gals that produced those shows. And I had a really great time doing narrative podcasts. Part of the reason why is because you can do these big epic stories that that's in podcast form that you're actually hearing and not seeing, and you're putting most of that quality in hearing the show
Is it kind of
as
like voice
opposed to,
acting?
oh well, it's definitely voice acting.
Not
Yeah,
kind of
it's like
like,
doing a
yeah.
cartoon. Yeah, yeah. And so like doing voiceover work, is awesome.
Would you ever want to be in a cartoon?
Well, you mean like Space Jam? Or are you talking about doing voices in a cartoon?
Voice acting in a cartoon.
Oh,
Doesn't
most
really.
definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can actually. Okay, I was just being silly, but anyway.
You act in voice cartoons. That's not voice cartoons. In cartoons, you act
Yes,
using,
yes.
you know, yeah.
I would love to do voice acting for cartoons. Yeah, Most definitely. God, what cartoon would I like to be on? You know what? For you, it would be not Adventure Time, but the Cake and something.
Fiona and Cake, yeah.
Yeah, Fiona and Cake. Yeah, I would do that just for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, let's get right into it. Why don't we? So, this first episode, episode one, the origin story, which is the title of this particular episode for Dad Shoes. We have become great big fans of Ahsoka on Disney Plus. I really appreciate the build up, especially to episode five, where we haven't seen Thrawn yet. We haven't seen Ezra Bridger. For those who don't know, these are Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels, and this show. I mean, you've had years to get ready for Ahsoka,
Yeah,
right?
you said like we've
Yeah,
become great big fans. We've been great big fans before it even came out. It's part of
yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, it's part of Star Wars. And so, definitely when we heard there was going to be a live action version of Ahsoka the show, but better yet, a live action version of Ahsoka the character, right?
And
Rosario Dawson is killing it.
yeah. And like all
And
of the characters that are like the not reimagined, but all of the people that are playing used to be cartoon characters, now live action part time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, most definitely. And so I know we're both enjoying this show, especially episode five, where we get Hayden Christensen back as Anakin Skywalker, also known as Darth Vader, the Sith Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what did you think? What did you think
Um.
about episode five?
So my initial thoughts were just seeing like Hayden kind of like acting as like the Anakin that like we know and love. That's like just kind of like a smirk and charisma, and it isn't like that. Well, because it was intentional to be emotional in the prequels, but not everyone really liked it. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and like it being play like in all of those clone scenes,
Hmm.
and I think they did a good job of like conveying everything in that almost. And then it was also like everyone was like, all of them are so stern and not don't have any emotion. And it's like, a just sit down and watch the show. It's because now Ahsoka has her kind of like Ahsoka the white, happy and like content thing. B,
Right.
like just think about what this person has been through. Child soldier having to see all their clone friends die for 9 seasons of a show. Two,
Yeah. We're
it,
talking severe PTSD. Like,
I don't know how
I'm
she
not trying to be funny, but yeah, go
sleeps at
ahead.
night. Like, jeez.
Right. Yeah. What
Um,
else?
then her master Anakin, pretty cool guy, but is a little bit tempered, and she probably picks up on stuff like that. Then he turns into Darth Vader. So we're at like 6 now, or not 6, but there's a lot. And then Darth Vader, she has to face Darth Vader, and then gets ripped out of time and space by Ezra and is like given another life chance, and then maybe she's like, oh god, I have to like repay this. And so just she's been through a lot.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of
Salute
which, Star Wars
Ahsoka.
theory. Yeah. Salute. Star Wars theory. I'd like for us to interview him. That's on my dreamcast, dream list of interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to him, because I don't rarely listen to a lot of like recaps or listen to what people think about a show or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, because I like to have my own opinion and not get swayed back and forth. But I really like the way that he explains things, and also because, well, he's definitely younger than me, and he's more on the prequel trilogy because he really likes it. I,
Grew
you
up
know,
with it,
I
yeah.
was there when the prequels came out, and I was, I will say this, and I'm not necessarily trying to sugarcoat it, but I understand now that we've had like this breadth of, length of time, that in the beginning when the prequels, came out, Phantom Menace really wasn't a big fan of it. The Clone Wars was better. Revenge of the Sith, in my opinion, is the best out of that three. But then also seeing the length of time that we've had, and also because of the Clone Wars at 2D and the animated series, as well as Rebels, and as well as seeing the last few seasons of the Clone Wars leading up to Order 66, I've grown to appreciate the prequels and why it is the way it is.
It kind of
And
makes
so
you see it in like a different light almost, like
yeah,
just like you get more respect for it from like the Clone Wars and like all of the shows and other movies and things circulating around it. And you hear people saying like, "Oh, it's so campy," and then you're like, "It's not that bad." And then you watch and you're kind of like, "It's kind of campy, but it's better than some of the more recent stuff they've been putting out." and
yeah,
and
yeah. Most No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that The Revenge of the Sith is the most entertaining Star Wars movie. And keep in mind, I did not say it was the best Star Wars movie. I said it was the most entertaining movie, which means it has Order 66 and like a bunch of lightsaber fights back to back to back. However, it ranks second next to The Empire Strikes Back on my list of favorite Star Wars movies that we'll have
Right.
to get
Yeah,
into later.
we'll
Yeah.
have to rank the movies, and because we did that a few days ago, where we actually included Rogue One as well as Solo, a Star Wars story, and did we include the shows? No, we didn't include the shows. We just did the movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and just in general, whenever I like to also add that whenever I critique a piece of work or whatever, like first off, I'm never dogging the actors, in it, right? I like I'm never doing that, and I will never do that. Like we've seen so many actors, get just get wailed on for being in any show that revolves around geek culture, whether it's Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever. And my message is, guys, relax. This is make believe. Like
Yeah.
it'll be all right. And they were in Star Wars, you weren't, right? So so shout out to all the actors, particularly like John Boyega and the actress who played Rose, in the sequel trilogy that we have, that we will discuss at a later time. Which if anything, I'll just say this: my favorite one was The Last Jedi, which everybody hated.
I
Everybody
know.
hated The
I
Last
thought
Jedi.
that too. I was thinking in my mind like Last Jedi had some like good scenes, but then you think about it, like they did Luke so dirty. Like that's just
They
not
did.
Luke.
They did. They did do him dirty. They really did do him dirty. I think that it was they were trying to like the filmmaker's attempt was to hold him off until the end so we can see the mighty Jedi, master Luke Skywalker astral project himself, light years away to another, place or something like that to
Yep.
deal with Kylo, right? But and at the same time, though, we would never get some of the greatest quotes from, you know, Yoda in Force Ghost mode, right? With this
It
quote about, training and being a master, and the burden. I can't remember the quote verbatim, but being a master, having a student, grow into their own. Like that's the burden. We are what they grow. We are what they grow beyond. That is the burden of all masters, right?
Okay, but
So
would you take those quotes over all of the movies? I'm so funny. I like literally just ignore everything you say. I'm like, okay, Dad, but
fine. I still don't
quotes,
like
but movies.
it. Come on,
Like,
man. It's Yoda. Really? Really? You gonna do Yoda like that?
Yoda's cool. Yoda's the man, but like the Star Wars sequel trilogy isn't. And I remember even getting out of the theater, I was like, I don't really, I didn't like that. And you're like, what? And then eventually over like time and like, I think that summer, like you were driving me to a camp one day and you were like, yeah, the more I think about it, that movie was not good.
It's not. Yeah, it snuck out almost like what happened with the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman. That very same thing happened until I saw the director's cut, and that's another episode I know we'll talk about in regards
Yeah.
to films, cause I've become a devotee of Zack Snyder, you know, the great and powerful,
And okay,
whatever that means.
yeah.
But we got to get back to Ahsoka though. So
I
what do you think? Yeah, no, go ahead.
I just wanted to have one more thing about the sequel trilogy to say.
Okay.
They there are like compilations out on the internet of the actors in interviews being like, "Do you like the movie?" And they're like, "Eh." Like we did a good job, like
You did a
just
good job.
dancing
Good
around the
job.
subject. Okay,
High
Ahsoka, a
five.
good Star Wars project. Let's go.
Yes,
It
yes.
was
Like
good,
it
not good. It
was
was great. Yeah,
it was great. Like that's the Star Wars, we need. Like I think that is probably that encapsulate Star Wars to a T, right? The hero's journey of seeing Ahsoka, you know, dealing with her past, right? And then the whole thing, like I even like yesterday started watching the movie Clone Wars, where we're introduced to Ahsoka for the first time, right? And just to put this in perspective, the character Ahsoka, like fanboys didn't like her.
I was
Like,
hearing about that. I don't really remember
yeah,
watching the movie fully. I do
yeah.
a
I
little
mean,
bit.
yeah. I mean, I went to the theater to see the Clone Wars, and I was like, oh snap, Anakin's got a Padawan. And I was like, okay,
Oh, it was in the theater. I didn't know that. I
mm-hmm.
thought it was like
Oh
a.
yeah.
That's
It
cool.
actually came out when I think it came out in 2009, and that's when you were born. So,
Yeah.
so trust me, waiting 8 years to introduce you to Star Wars. No, I think you were 6 when I introduced
I
you to
feel
Star
like if
Wars.
you just waited maybe like one more year, because I don't think I really understood a lot of it. And rewatching it now, I do understand it more. But it's more like the
Right.
scenes and like memories of watching it that are actually like in my brain.
Well, see, the thing is, you got to understand when Disney bought Lucasfilm,
Oh yeah, you
like
were
I
gearing me up
knew,
for the.
yeah, for the what? For the new movies that were coming
We do
out.
not say the name.
There was something that Disney was coming out with that I really wanted you to see, and I knew you had a short amount of time, so I was like, I wish you would have waited one more year when you were 7. But I was like, nope, you're watching Star Wars. Like I had to pull an executive order. So
Yeah, I don't even really remember watching that one. Uh, yeah, I don't remember. I actually don't. I remember you picking me up from school one day though, and being like, "Yo, I got the Blu-ray of it now." So
yep,
that's
yep.
my
I,
memory.
I had I
Yep.
had borrowed it from friends of ours, and I was like, hey, like I called him up. I was like, yo, Mark, It's time. Like, you got to let me borrow the Blu-ray." He was like, "All right," and that was it. That was all she wrote, and that
Yeah.
was your hero's journey.
Okay.
Yeah, and so,
Ahsoka.
but yeah, Ahsoka, yeah, and so we're seeing this hero's journey, and we're literally seeing it through animation, through live action, and we're talking decades worth of material. From the Clone Wars to Rebels to finally live action,
Yeah.
right?
Like
Yeah,
it's really interesting to see her like character kind of being like such a interwoven like main part of Star Wars, yet she wasn't really in any like the main movies. And
right.
yeah, seeing Ahsoka in live action is pretty cool. I like it.
Right. And really just being able to see how her story is woven into the original trilogy, as well as the in between, between Return of the Jedi and, say, Rogue One, or Return of the Jedi and, episode 7, right? Which is The Force Awakens,
Dad, you just
which
said the
is,
name. Oh my gosh.
sorry. I'm sorry. We have to include those. You know, unless Dave Filoni does something different,
It's just
that's canon.
I'm just like so anti against those whenever someone references them having some sort of connectedness to any other like Star Wars project. I've created a bubble inside my mind where I just blocked it out, and I was like, no, those don't exist. What do you like? What do you want right now? Those just don't exist. No.
It's a parallel universe. Sometimes you cross over to a parallel universe when those three movies do exist, and then we go back and forth. That's what it is.
I
Yeah.
am the parallel universe.
Cool. So, any final thoughts on Ahsoka? I know we've just been going back and forth, but I'm really enjoying the show. I can't wait to see what they're going to do next, and just seeing this hero's journey to where she is now. Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Um it's good Star Wars. It's good Star Wars. I remember you sent me like this meme the other day that was like Batman and or it was
Yeah,
today
from Batman
actually.
Begins. Yeah, yeah, I
It was
sent it
Batman
today.
and Jim Gordon and Jim Gordon was like, I guess I should say thank you and Batman was like, you don't have to.
No, yeah, I was like, I didn't get to say thank you or something like that, and it was like,
Yeah.
you'll never have to. Yeah. So Jim Gordon was the Star Wars fans, Batman, Dave Filoni, and just shout out to Dave Filoni. I mean, who would think that, like, his origin story, was like he gets a call from Scott, from Lucasfilm saying, "Hey, we want you to create some cartoons for us for the Clone Wars," and he's thinking it's a big joke. To fast forward to where he is now, like he is the heir to the throne. you know,
Yeah. That's
yeah,
that's so true. That's funny.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So yeah, it's we will watch his career with great interest, if I may quote Chancellor Palpatine, also known as Darth Sidious, also, also known as Emperor Palpatine, also known as that bad Mama Jamma.
Also known as the apprentice to Darth Sidious, and also the murderer of not Darth Sidious, Darth Plagueis, and also the
Yeah.
murderer of Darth Plagueis.
Ah, yeah, that is
Mm-hmm.
true. That is true. So, any final words? Like, what do you want to send our viewers off with?
I I'd kind of just thought of a video idea like earlier when we were talking. What if we talked about all of the multiverse kind of like movies like Spider Verse, the Fiona Cake Show, the Flash,
Wait, wait a minute. You're
the
talking about the movie The Flash or the TV show
the
The Flash?
movie The
Because he
Flash,
don't. Okay, all
the
right. So we're
movie
not
The
going to talk
Flash, Dad,
about. Okay,
the
we're not
movie The
talking about the
Flash,
TV show Flash.
and What else?
Like
Like
I cannot like
Marvel now?
it'll yeah. I was just about to say we cannot talk about bad about the TV show The Flash because A,
He
I
is
like
the
it.
Flash.
B, he is the
There's
Flash.
no question
Yeah,
about it. Dun dun run, Barry, run.
because I cannot protect you from the internet. I mean, I can protect you from the internet, but it will be me against the internet.
You can handle it, Dad. Just
Ah, you got it. Just go out
yeah,
there.
just yeah. You got it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So yeah, definitely we'll get into all that, and then as well as interviewing great guests, and also talking about sneakers. I know we haven't talked about sneakers, but I'm still trying to figure out where that comes in. I don't know.
How you'll
Guess I'll
incorporate it?
yeah, probably my pick of the week. Because sneakers come out every week, whether it's from Nike or Adidas or independent sneakers. Saya, somewhere in America, based in Oakland, California. Like I'm really a fan, of his. So shout out to Devin Carter out there in Oakland doing his thing. And yeah, but
Nice.
yo, yeah. So let's just end this off with thanks for checking
Bam.
us out.
Yeah.
First episode. Like and subscribe. Come back next week or maybe every 2 weeks, depending on our schedules, and lining
Well,
up guests or whatever, you know. But yeah, so had a great time. Anything else, B?
excited for the next one, and you should be too. I'm talking to the
Awesome. All right,
viewers here.
guys.
Okay.
All right, guys. Laters.